Hello, folks, and welcome to Yoga for Hips and Knees. Not only are these two of the most complained about joints in the body, but they are also connected to each other in more ways than one. Knee pain and knee injuries are many times as a result of hip tightness. Luckily for you, here is a class ready to save the day. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position. That might mean a cross-legged seat or sitting on the heels. That's completely up to you. Rest your palms on your thighs, sit up tall, and then close your eyes when you're ready. Just take these first few moments here to notice how your body feels today. Notice if you're feeling strained at all in your hips or your low back or your knees. Just take this time to check in. In time, you'll start to bring your awareness to your breath. Noticing how deeply you are breathing here, and noticing where your breath is arriving in your body. Begin to deepen your breath so that with every inhale, you fill all the way up, all the way down into your belly. And every exhale, you begin to draw your navel up and into your spine, activating real subtly these muscles in your core. Inhale to fill up and expand. Exhale to draw your navel up and into your spine. Good. Continue breathing that way and begin to open your eyes and uncross your legs, placing your feet in front of you, wider than hips width distance apart. We're going to start warming up the hips by windshield wiping the legs. So you'll drop your knees side to side. We'll move through this here quite a few times to begin warming up the hips, getting them ready for some deeper opening. Start slow and try to keep your feet in that same spot on the ground. So the only thing that's moving are the knees from side to side, and that way you can really rotate the femur bones through the hip joints. Good. Keep going. See if you can even bring your knees to the ground each time. That might seem impossible at the start, but in time, you'll get better at this. Especially at the end of this class, you might already find some improvement. All right, the next time your knees are on the right side, stay there and come to 90-90 position. That means bringing a 90-degree angle in both legs. We're going to focus on internal rotation in the left leg first. We'll do 5 repetitions of a foot lift in the left foot. Now, if it doesn't lift so much, don't be too discouraged. You're still activating the right muscles. Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This last one, hold it for 5, 4. Keep going. You might get a little crampy here. 2. And 1, release. Awesome job. Place both hands behind you and turn your chest to face your left thigh. Look at your left knee and pause here, taking some rest, letting the left femur bone just hang out in this passive internal rotation. Now, the more towards the left you twist your torso, the deeper it'll be. And then we'll switch sides. Flip your knees over to the left. 90-90 position. And let's begin with lifting the right foot for 5, 4, 3. Keep going. Remember, if your foot doesn't lift too much, that's okay. You're still activating the right muscles. Last one, let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap it down. Really nice. Keep your legs as they are. Place both hands behind you and twist your torso to face your right knee this time. Let your body just take some rest here. Working on stretching out that right hip. Nice. All right, now flipping it back over to the right side. We're going to start focusing on the right leg and external rotation. Twist your torso to face your right thigh. Place your hands down and pulse your torso over your right thigh for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This last time, hold it here. And if possible, start to walk your hands forward. folding deeper, almost like you're trying to glue your belly to your thigh. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Maybe sink a little deeper into this stretch. Nice. One more breath like that. Slowly start to lift yourself back up, and let's flip it around to the left side. Turn your torso to face your left knee. Place your hands down. And let's pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay here. Fold as deeply as you can. Keep a long spine. Lead with the center of your chest. If possible, you can start to walk your hands forward, but on this side, for me, it feels a little bit better to keep my hands to the sides, like how we were when we were pulsing. Notice the way you're breathing. Every time you exhale, see if you can get slightly deeper into the pose. About 2 more breaths here. All right, slowly lift yourself back up. And then cross your legs and come into tabletop position, facing the top of your mat. Untuck your toes and let's move on to the spine. Now, while we're doing cat-cows, pay extra attention to what's happening in your pelvis. We want to focus on the pelvic tilt here. With an inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. This is an anterior tilt of the pelvis. As you exhale, lift the upper back, round your spine, tuck your tailbone. This is a posterior tilt of the pelvis. Nice. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, anteriorly tilt your pelvis. Exhale, round the upper back, spread your shoulder blades, tuck your tailbone under, posterior tilt. Let's keep going. Inhale, open the chest, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, lift the upper back, pull your chin to your chest. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward, anterior tilt. Exhale, pull the upper back to the ceiling, posterior tilt. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, press the ground away, navel to spine. This last time, you can even do it with your eyes closed if you haven't already. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Come back to neutral tabletop position. And let's come into a wide-legged child's pose. Bring your knees as wide as your mat and take a seat on your heels. Walk your hands forward and lower your forehead to the ground. If this is too much of a stretch for your ankles, then you can roll up your mat, as you can see me doing here in the video. You can roll it halfway up your mat, or you can even roll up your entire mat. And then you'll place your ankles on top of that rolled up portion of your mat. And then come back into the wide-legged child's pose. We'll take some time here to connect to the breath as the hips slowly start to open up more and more. So as you start to pay more attention to your breath, as you inhale, think about breathing into the back of your lungs, filling up the back of your chest, expanding your low back. And as you exhale, think about letting your torso sink a little deeper between your thighs and letting your glutes come a little closer to your heels if they're not touching yet. Good. Continue breathing deeply like this as you let your body soften and sink into this pose. Child's pose is often used as a resting pose in a lot of yoga classes, but as you can see here, it is also quite a bit of a hip opener as well. Good. Start to walk your hands back in, unroll your mat, come into tabletop position. From tabletop position, tuck your toes under. Coming into down dog, send your hips up and back, press your chest towards your thighs. And as always, start with a bend in your knees so that you have space to guide your chest towards your thighs. If you notice your back is rounded, try bending your knees a little more. And remember that exercise when we were in tabletop doing cat-cow, where we were moving through anterior tilts of the pelvis and posterior tilts of the pelvis. In down dog, you're going to want to go a little more into an anterior tilt of the pelvis, which means that you're pointing your tailbone up towards the ceiling as best as you can. Good. Now, from here, step your right foot in between your hands. You can grab a hold of your ankle and help guide your foot the rest of the way if you need, then tap your left knee down and untuck your toes. With an inhale, rise up into low lunge. Reach your arms overhead. Take a moment first to steady your balance, and then start to lean your upper body over to the right, coming into a side bend. You can reach your right hand towards the ground, but it might not make it all the way to the ground. If you have a yoga block or a stack of books nearby, you can always use that as a prop. It's a really great way to find a little more stability and balance in this pose. With an inhale, reach both hands overhead. Exhale, hands down, and then step right back into down dog. We'll do the other side now. Step your left foot in between your hands. Again, you can grab a hold of your ankle if you need. Then tap your right knee down and untuck your toes. Squeeze the inner thighs together. With a strong breath in, rise up into low lunge. Reach both arms overhead with the palms facing one another. Good. Start to lean to the left, opening up your right side body. So this is a nice hip flexor and psoas muscle stretch. Eventually, you might reach your left hand towards the ground. If it makes it all the way to the ground, that's great. And if it doesn't, that's also great. As you can see, mine doesn't make it all the way to the ground either. Nice. And with an inhale, rise back up, re-extend both arms overhead. Exhale, hands down, step right back into down dog. Cool. Now moving on to a little bit more hip opening. Step your right foot forward once again. Tap your left knee down. Now this time you'll shift your left shin bone so that it comes to parallel to the short edge of your mat. So you're going to turn your left foot over to the right. Bring your right hand inside your right leg and try to keep your right knee stacked over your right ankle. Now with an inhale, reach your left arm out to the side and up to the ceiling. Exhale, place your left hand back down. You can watch the screen if you need. Inhale, open back up. We're going to do this 5 times in total. Exhale, back down. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Inhale, open. Try to stack your shoulders here. Exhale, back down. One last time. Inhale, open. This time, hold it here as you exhale. Think about sinking your hips a little closer to the ground and opening the chest as much as you can. Good. Release. Left hand comes back down. And shift back into regular lunge. Then step back into down dog. We'll do the same thing on the second side. So we're really pushing our hips into external rotation here. Step your left foot in between your hands. Tap your right knee down, untuck your toes, and shift your right shin bone so that it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Foot goes over to the left. Left hand inside your left leg. Keep your knee stacked over your ankle. With an inhale, open up, reach your right arm to the ceiling. Exhale, back down. That's 5, excuse me. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. That's 4. Inhale, open. Try to stack your shoulders as you reach tall. Exhale, down. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, open. Hold it here as you exhale. Essentially, this is a warrior 2 pose preparation. We're just getting our hips open in the right way. Nice. Lower your right hand back down and shift back into downward facing dog. Take your time in these transitions here. No rush. All right, and our final progression into warrior 2. Step your right foot in between your hands. And this time, keep your left knee lifted off the ground. Spiral your left heel down so the outer edge of your left foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Right knee stacks your ankle. With an inhale, rise for warrior two. Lift your torso. You want your arms parallel to the ground here, and eventually you want your right femur bone, so your right thigh, to also be parallel to the ground. Look towards your right hand and keep your shoulders stacked over the hips. Make sure you're not leaning forward or back here, but you're standing nice and tall and nice and strong. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, cartwheel both hands down and step back into downward facing dog. Nice job. Let's do the second side. Step the left foot in between your hands. Spiral your right heel down. Your left heel is in line with your right arch. With an inhale, rise, warrior two. Stay as you exhale. Sink your hips as low as you can here. This is both a hip opening and leg strengthening pose, as you can tell. Arms are parallel to the ground and look towards your left fingertips. Shoulders stack your hips. Draw your navel to your spine and steady your breath. Maybe sink your hips a little lower. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, cartwheel both hands back down. Step back into down dog. Amazing job here. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Now moving on to more static stretches. Step your right foot outside of both hands at the top of your mat. Tap your left knee down and untuck your toes. Point your right toes outward at about a 45-degree angle, coming into lizard lunge stance. You want your right foot either directly under or in front of your right knee. And you can either stay on your hands, or if you feel super flexible and open today, you can think about coming down onto your elbows, but that might be a little too intense, so feel free to come back onto your hands. Once you've found a position that feels comfortable yet challenging, close your eyes and deepen your breath. With every exhale, think about sinking your hips a little closer to the ground to best open up the hips. Relax your neck. You might even let your head drop here just a few more moments before you move on. Good. Shift yourself back a little bit to relax your hips and start to walk your right foot over to the left side of your mat, coming right into half pigeon pose. So you'll lower your right shin bone to the ground with your knee to the right. And then slide your left knee as far back as you can. Good. Then right away from this position, you'll begin to fold over your right thigh. Now take your time coming into this pose, no rushing in any of these transitions here. You might stay on your hands, you might lower to your elbows. If you're feeling super open today, you might even lower your forehead to your hands or to the ground. We'll hold this for about a minute in total, so we're almost halfway there. Keep breathing. And with every exhale, notice if there's tension somewhere in your body that you can let go of. I lied, it's a little bit longer than a minute that we're holding this, but you have just about 30 seconds left, so amazing work here. Nice. Start to walk your hands back in, moving slowly. Tuck your left toes under, and with a big inhale, step right back into down dog. Then extend your right foot up towards the ceiling into three-legged dog. So we're still working with the right leg here. Take another breath in. With your exhale, tap your right foot back down. Let's move on to the other side. Step your left foot outside your left hand at the top of your mat and tap your right knee down. Point your left toes outward at about a 45-degree angle. Make sure your left foot is in front of or directly underneath your left knee. And then we begin. Either stay on your hands and focus on sinking the hips to the ground. If you're feeling super open, you can think about lowering down to your elbows. But like I said before, this can be quite intense sometimes, so feel free to come back up or simply stay on your hands the whole time. Then if you haven't yet, I invite you to close your eyes and deepen your breath. Focus on letting gravity do most of the work here and letting your breath simply give you the strength to stay. All right, let's make our way into half pigeon pose. Shift your weight back and start to walk your left foot over to the right. Lower your left shin bone to the ground. Slide your right knee as far back as you can. And when you're ready, begin to fold over your left thigh. You can stay on your hands or come down to your elbows. If you're feeling super open today, you might even lower your forehead to the ground. Now, if you do have any knee problems, you're more than welcome to do this laying on your back without as much pressure on your knee. You would just take a reclined figure 4 pose. As time goes by, you might start to sink deeper and deeper into this pose. And as before, use your breath to guide you into it. Your exhales allow you to sink deeper. Slowly start to walk your hands back in. I'm just laughing because my stomach is making so many noises. I hope you can't hear it. Tuck your right toes under with an inhale, down dog, and sweep your left foot up to the ceiling for 3-legged dog. Hold it as you exhale. Give some circulation back into your left hip. Nice. And then lower your left foot back down for down dog. All right, from here, tap your knees to the ground. And bring your knees together, untuck your toes, and step your feet as wide as your mat. So we're moving into some internal rotation work. Start to walk your hands back, shifting your seat back to eventually take a seat in between your heels. Now, if you have really sensitive knees, it's totally normal if you don't come all the way down into a seat, so just go as far as you can. But if you're really open and very internally rotated, then you might even come all the way to a seat and rest your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. But if that's too much, feel free to keep your hands on the ground and simply work on shifting your hips back as far as they can go, working them in the direction of coming into a seat. So anywhere you are along that line of movement is good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Really nice. Come back into tabletop position. And then swing your legs forward out in front of you, coming into a seat. Extend your legs out long in front of you and hug your right knee into your chest. Cross your right foot over your left leg and we'll twist to the right. With your left hand, hug your right knee into your chest and place your right hand down behind you. Now notice you want to sit up tall here. If you're slouching too much and rounding your spine, focus on pressing your right hand into the ground to lift the front of your chest. I'll demonstrate it now. So if you look at the video, if you notice you're slouched over like this, try not to do that. Press your right hand into the ground to open the front of your chest, energetically lifting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Unravel from your twist, extend your right leg, and draw your left knee into your chest. Cross your left foot over your right leg, and as you twist to the left, with your right arm, you'll hug your left knee into your chest. Place your left hand down behind you. Press the ground away as you lift the chest up towards the ceiling and look past your left shoulder to complete the twist. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Good. One more like that. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Unravel from your twist. Extend your left leg long and make your way down to your back. Release your arms to either side of you with your palms facing up. And final tension exercise. Begin to tense every muscle in your body from head to toe. Squeeze everything. Tense, tense, tense for 3, 2, 1, and release. Let your body get heavy as you release control of any effort you have over your body or your breath. Let your body sink into the ground and relax. For the next few minutes, we'll be taking rest here in Shavasana, just giving both our body and our brain time to process, almost digest all of these poses we've practiced. Real gently invite your awareness back into your body, noticing the shape that your body is in. And then when you're ready, start to invite some movement back into your hands and your feet. In time, reach your arms overhead and point your toes. Take a deep breath in, full body stretch. And a deep breath out to release. Bend your knees and roll over to the side. Keeping your eyes closed, press up into a comfortable seated position. Take your time to arrive, no rush. Rest your palms on your thighs and sit up tall. And take this moment to observe how your body feels now at the very end of class. After all the hip mobility work we've done, can you almost find a little more ease here in sitting up taller and bringing a little more of an anterior tilt to your pelvis, even here in a seat? We spent quite a bit of time today working on opening the hips in external rotation and internal rotation. We did both active and passive mobility work, so hopefully you can feel those effects now. Bring your palms together in front of your chest. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up today and putting in the work. Great job today, and I look forward to seeing you.